Over the last several decades, corporate consolidations and deregulation in the meatpacking and food processing industry have transformed the national and local landscape, with the largest firms becoming more powerful and realizing record profits in recent years.
You see all of these food products at the grocery store, in restaurants, and you never really know the story behind it.
Los Angeles County and the industrial city of Vernon in particular has been a regional hotspot for meatpacking and food processing for more than a century. But over the last 2 decades, local unionized processing facilities have either shut down operations or left town, leaving thousands of predominantly immigrant workers forced to navigate precarious employment.
We hear about discrimination, dangerous working conditions, wage theft, all sorts of hardships that they go through to put these products on our plates.
Through a broad industry analysis and direct testimony from nearly 50 workers, we learned how staffing agencies shield food production companies from legal and political scrutiny while sustaining an industry defined by chronic low wages and systemic wage theft. Workers at food processing facilities are often unable to take full meal and rest breaks, and they frequently have issues getting paid in full and on time. Workers report a culture of harassment and discrimination from management on the production line.
Trabajo en la industria de la comida. Desempeñamos el trabajo en línea, sirviendo el plato o poniendo el pollo y la banda va pasando. A veces no tenemos todo lo adecuado para estar uno bien trabajando, que hay mucho calor, el tiempo de break es corto, 10 minutos, a veces uno come apenas. Créeme lo que sí, es un estrés bastante fuerte.
Heightened competition for market share in the food production sector has produced a race to the bottom, as firms aim to bolster their profit margins by reducing labor costs, maintaining substandard working conditions, and undermining collective bargaining efforts.
Consolidation in the food production industry has meant that profits are concentrated higher up the national and international supply chain. Exactly what we've seen on the local level here in Vernon, where smaller local and regional businesses are forced to shut down, displacing thousands and thousands of workers.
These economic pressures have led to the emergence of a new model of employment in the local sector.
One of the most shocking things we learned throughout this research was actually how staffing agencies effectively provide cover for food production companies, ensuring that harms against workers go undetected.
Temporary staffing agencies create additional layers of insulation between employers and regulators, allowing bad actors to break the law with impunity.
In LA County, there have been several operations committing egregious wage violations and even employing child labor who have been caught, fined, or shut down, only to set up a new facility with a new corporate structure and a new staffing agency in place, which basically forces the regulators to start from scratch in terms of investigating wrongdoing.
Poultry workers, who are paid per piece of chicken cut rather than per hour worked, are paid less than the minimum wage.
To make the equivalent of a minimum wage, they need to cut 200 pounds of chicken per hour. So you can see that while piece rate is not illegal, it does lead to systemic wage violation.
Management routinely prioritizes speed over safety, creating a dangerous work environment exacerbated by a lack of standardized training.
What I hear most commonly from workers is the stress that this work puts on their body, right? They work on production lines, on assembly lines that operate at really high speeds. They're doing repetitive motion for the entirety of their shift, day after day, week after week, which causes a lot of pain. And sometimes these are injuries that workers can't recover from and they have to live with for the rest of their lives.
Such unsafe conditions directly correlate with substandard food safety protocols, posing a real threat to consumers.
Tienes que tener cuidado. Una silla estaba mal puesta y yo la levanté con mi mano y me apretó mi dedo contra la banda. No me dieron la opción de ir al médico que querían que llegara a trabajar.
Without significant policy reform, the local meatpacking and food processing sector will remain dominated by low-road employers.
LA County has a food supply chain that, above all, competes on cost, meaning that the bottom line is all important. The health and safety of workers and consumers is essentially an afterthought.
But there are opportunities for immediate action to right these wrongs, including the prohibition of piece rate compensation in food production, as well as the expansion of capacity of regulatory agencies to enforce existing laws.
Garment workers in Los Angeles, for example, successfully organized a campaign over many years, and in 2023, a law was passed prohibiting piece rate pay in that sector. Similar efforts, I think, should be made in food production to finally put an end to systemic wage theft.
Establishing a worker center in Vernon and building a coalition with local and regional advocates across food justice, education equity, and animal welfare will lay the groundwork for a campaign to rebuild the high-road food supply chain in Los Angeles County.
If I had the power to change this industry, there's a lot that would have to change. And I think the first step is to uplift the workers' voices and to hear directly from them